So next up, we have dud of the week. I mean, we normally try to not overlap too much, but God knows this is gonna be hard. We have to like probably fight over it in the production meeting earlier in terms of who gets what. But Gally, let's start with you. Dud of the week, and then we'll just pile on.
Well, it's hard to avoid and I don't want to take anything away from Brentford, who I thought were absolutely outstanding and set up to actually attack a weakened Man United side. Um, but I'm going to start with the guy who set up the weakened Man United side. I'm going to start with the dud of the week in Ten Hag. And I'm not saying that Ten Hag is going to be a failure. I'm not saying that United shouldn't question whether or not they might have the right guy because they're going to have to give him time. But for all the excitement after, a couple preseason results, for all the culture and work ethic to see the way this man has handled basically two full matches as manager of United would make me have pause and reservation about whether or not he is the guy. From benching Ronaldo and then bringing him in the second half to starting Ericsson through the false nine just so you can keep Rashford on the left, to then playing Ericsson so deep, and then lastly yanking Lisandro Martinez at halftime, basically making him the scapegoat of your 4-0 loss after you just spent 60 million on the 5'9" center back. And De Gea is clearly screaming at him for missing out on the Ben Mee. And let's be honest, the Ben Mee thing is just going to be a meme forever because somehow he lost a header to a guy sitting down. Literally. He lost a header to a guy sitting down. And I just don't know how you respond to that. And your manager does you no favors. And then on top of it, I mentioned it earlier in our pre-production when I decided I was going to rail on Ten Hag. The Donny van de Beek, the only player to start every one of United's preseason friendlies was Donny van de Beek. The kid must have thought he woke up and was getting his shot at showing everyone what he was worth. And he comes on in the 80th minute as the fifth substitute in a 4-0 drubbing. Like, you could have brought in the ball boy, and the ball boy would have been more excited to get in for those last 10 minutes than Donny van de Beek. So, Eric Ten Hag, you are my dud of the week, purely because, well, everything you've decided to do has failed.
Speaking of ball boys and duds, I mean, this could have been another one too. I don't know if you guys caught this because I caught it during the game and I was like, was that a ball boy? And he happens to wear the same color as United, but I think it was Elanga. I don't know who the player was initially, but I saw a tweet today where the ball goes out of bounds and Elanga gives the ball back right away so they can keep it so fast. And when it happened, as I was watching the game, I was like, is the ball boy wearing like line too? So he kind of pops on the sideline. Normally it's like a vest or something, you know? And I was like, what is, I mean, this is kind of like how out of tune. I like, he's like, let's go, come on, let's get 5. Like, who does that? Yeah, it was, I could have made him dead of the week, but there's so many options in that game. Bickler, who is your dud?
So, maybe not out of left field, but I feel like this is a little outside the box. I'm going Declan Rice. I mean, because I know he doesn't set his valuation, right? He doesn't set what West Ham are asking for him. But do we even talk about this guy if he's still Irish, if he's still flying the Irish flag and he doesn't have the English? I'm serious. If he wasn't an English national, would we even be talking about Declan Rice? I don't know that we would. And, he's taken 3 pens, missed the last 2. And that is about the most telegraphed penalty that I've ever, that's shit you work out in like junior high level in the States. And that's saying something. Like when they teach you about where you put your hips when you approach a ball, like it was just like you knew where he was going from 40 yards away. You could have been in the like far stand and been like, he's going left. And I don't think his overall game was was really an improvement on the penalty shot. To be quite honest, I thought he was pretty much a non-factor in a game that he should have been bossing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely they wouldn't have the same price tag if he wasn't English, that's for sure. So my dud of the week, I guess I will go with the obvious is De Gea. I mean, that was, and honestly, I think he's a great goalie. I know he's kind of like, curving down in his career maybe, but I mean, you look at last season, he has saved United a ton of games, and he kind of gets overlooked because then he has one of these games where he has like a howler and everybody is like, oh, it's the problem. I think the biggest problem is he's not more of like the modern goalkeeper where he is good with his feet and can build from the back. So the second goal, I don't know, you give that to him or you go back to Galleys and give it to Ten Hag and say you're making a goalie who's clearly not good with the ball on his feet try to build up play despite, knowing that's not his strength. But the first goal, obviously, I don't even know what that was. He almost like tried to clap the ball. Like he wasn't even like put his body in front of it. I can understand sometimes, kind of like squeeze it under your arm, but it wasn't even like that. I don't even know what that was. It just like
Tim Howard explained
like
it as the wrong handshake, which explains it all.
And yeah, that's why he is my dud of the week. Mind you, Elanga was a close second with that, giving the ball for the throw-in. But I figured like a lot of people would have missed that. And I saw a tweet to that. I was like, okay, so I wasn't imagining things when I was watching the game. But I will save young Elanga and give it to the experience there as the dud of the week for me in week 2.